Yeah, Steve is doing a lot better. I mean, he still has a left side deficit, but he's honestly, he's better every day a little bit. He's still, like, if he shakes his head, he'll still kind of flop over, but he's learned a lot about how to control himself, and how to deal with it. And I think it is kind of reducing a little bit every day. So he's a lot better. He can run now, and I don't know if you guys saw his last few videos. He can have hissy fits again, which is good. So I think in another month or two, maybe he'll be totally back to himself. Want to say hi to your peoples? Or are you going to take a nap? Even Bean. The treats are in the fridge because otherwise, you know who knows how to open cupboards and will just get them all out and tear the bags open with his teeth and claws and eat them all at once. So we have to keep everything that we don't want the cats to get into in the refrigerator, including the catnip. Oh, hi, meow. You said meow. Meow. Oh, your cat works with your dog to open cupboards. Yeah, Steve loves to work with other animals or toddlers. He loves toddlers, to get them to, like, team up with him and be the muscle, and he'll be the boss. Hi, Kitchen Man. And get them to help him either open the front door to get out and go outside, or, like, open the fridge or do other projects. So I can totally see a cat and dog doing that together. Yeah, Steve, I think, is having no thoughts right now, for sure. How do I get my cat to press his button? So I actually started a website called Talk to the Beans. You can just go to talktothebeans.com. That's a whole tutorial about how to get, or how to work with your animals, cats, dogs. You can do it with chickens. You can do it with other birds, rats. But you can do it with all kinds of animals, and you can go to talktothebeans.com, and there's a whole tutorial there and a member forum and all kinds of stuff that will help you teach your pet how to use the speech buttons. But really what you want to do is model the behavior, which is you pushing the button, and then you can also gradually use something called shaping, which is rewarding successive small movements towards the final movement that you want. But it's a little bit too long to explain here in this live, so I would either do a Google search, or you can go to Talk to the Beans and check it out. What makes animals hate kids? I don't know, all our guys pretty much like kids. Steve loves kids, and actually we had a baby. I was babysitting yesterday for our neighbor who's a year old, and if you go to Steve's Instagram stories, you can see pictures of it from yesterday. That Steve and Kevin especially, and then Mimi, were so great with her. They were really protective. They slept with her when she was taking a nap, and they, like, watched over her. I think it depends on the energy of the kid, but it's often about their, like, fast, erratic movements and their loudness. I think that's a lot of what it is for a lot of animals, is that's too much for them. But it's not all animals, like I said, a lot of our guys really love kids. So it all depends. Do all our cats get along? Yes, all of our cats do get along. They're all really good friends. But we also have a lot of these plugged in. And I always tell my behavior clients when they're having intercat aggression issues to get these. It's Feeliway Multicat. And there are a lot of actually peer-reviewed studies about these things. It's a synthetic pheromone that mimics a lactating mother's pheromones that she would put off to her kittens. And I really highly recommend them. I think they're very helpful in keeping harmony in a multi-cat household. Oh, Kevin doesn't mind collars. He's actually really pretty chill. I've had one on him since he decided to come in. He is an ex-feral. He decided to join our household like maybe 8 months ago, formally. We had him TNR'd probably about a year ago, but he was not ready to be an indoor cat yet. But at that point, I did put a collar on him. We tried tracking him for a while, but he would always lose the tracker. So he's been wearing a collar on and off for about a year. He doesn't mind it, thankfully, and also thankfully because the SurePet bowls that we have, they don't pick up his microchip, even though he is microchipped. His microchip, for some reason, has, like, migrated down to here. Sorry, Kevin. It's like, what are you doing? It wouldn't pick that up because, he just puts his head in the bowl. I'm not trying to bug you. I'm sorry. He's like, ugh, get away from me. I've just been giving him pills because of his surgery, so he's over me right now. So he also wears the collar because it has his RFID tag to open the bowls. Yeah, Kevin is wild. Kevin has also had so many children, fathered so many children. I don't even know how many, but he's a wonderful dad. And that's how he has come to live in this house, because he came to find his baby mama and all his children. He walked many city blocks to find them after I had rescued his baby mama, who was also feral. And the whole story of that is in our feed, probably, it's almost a year ago now, but you can find that if you want. And the Dodo did a whole story on it. He's a wonderful man. And I think that's part of how he was so great with the baby yesterday. He's just such a good dad. He's really like such a unique and wonderful man. Like, I'm really all the time like, it's such a gift that he decided he wanted to come live with us, because he didn't have to. He actually really chose it. So it's very touching to me that he chose to come live with us. Yes. Oh, he's absolutely fixed. We got him fixed as soon as I realized that he was the dad, and that he like trusted me enough to let me, like, I did trap him, but that I was able to trap him. We got him TNR'd, which is trap, neuter, return. And he made it very clear he did not want to stay indoors after his, 3-day recovery from being neutered. And so we just let him right back out, and he did his thing for probably another 4 months, which is often how long it takes for the testosterone to fully leave a male cat's body. So he still wanted to be out and about and doing his thing, and we'd see him in the neighborhood and be like, Kevin, and he'd be like, ugh, you guys are so embarrassing. He'd come by for food and stuff, and I think that's probably also when he caught FIV, because when we got him TNR'd, we snapped him and he did not have FIV, but when he developed the stomatitis that required him to have his teeth out the other day, I had him snapped again, because you don't usually see stomatitis in a cat who's this young, and he did snap positive. So he must have had a bad fight, or loved a woman who wasn't clean, something to that effect, while he was still running around on the street. And now he has FIV, which is feline HIV. So that's that. Okay. Microchips, I guess they can migrate. I didn't know that either, but I have a microchip finder, like they use at the vet. And I used it to make sure that we could still find everybody's microchips when we got those bowls. And Kevin's was literally like down here. And we found the same thing for our other cat, Babby, the one who looks like Steve that he was boxing with in their video from last night. So the two of them need to wear microchip collars. Have you had cats with chin acne? Yes. So Steve, when he was a teen and like a year, hi Kitten Man, you want to come sit? What's up, cutie toot? You want to come up? You want to come snuggle? Hi, you're so cute. You want to come up? You want? Hi, I love you. So Steve used to have the worst acne, to the point where I had to squish his pimples out, which is so, I just hate anything like that, or like clipping nail. I hate all that stuff, but I do it because I love them. You should switch to steel bowls, like plastic, ceramic, any of that stuff is not good. There are also some wipes that you can buy off of Chewy. I know that we have, I'm going to have to look it up. If you can DM me or email me, our email address is thedailysteveb@gmail.com. I can tell you what they are. I'm so tired right now. My brain is not working, but there are medicated wipes that you can use for their chin, but really stainless steel bowls, and same for water, is the best thing you can do to, stop chin acne. Our cat sitter, who is the best lady in the world, got us this llama for Christmas, and Samba immediately took it over. And Samba, since he had a stroke, has been unable to, really walk well or really hold his urine properly. But which is why we have this whole pee pad trail, and we've been working with diapers and stuff. And the funny thing is that as soon as we got this llama, Samba was all of a sudden able to crawl up into it and out of it. And enough so that he could even fight other cats who were in it to push them out. So part of me is is he just playing us? He can get himself in and out of there, and he hasn't peed in it once because he's obsessed with it. So I don't know what this man is up to, this 18-year-old man, but he knows what he's doing. Huh, Zombie? You know what you're doing, you big stinker. How am I able to resist the urge to go up and cuddle every single one of them? I mean, I do. It's very hard to get stuff done. I've been trying to write my master's thesis for the past 6 months. And I'm not very far into it because it's just really hard. It's very distracting to have 10 cats, especially when they want to sit on you the second that you sit down. So I'm going to need to go really do it somewhere else where there's no cats. My thesis is about the effect of fluorescent light flicker on the adverse behavior of shelter animals. So basically, whether or not flickering fluorescent light, which cats and dogs can see a bit more than people can. Their flicker fusion rate is higher than ours is. So while a lot of people see fluorescent light as a steady stream of light, a lot of animals may not. Birds certainly don't, and cats and dogs may not as well. So, and that type of light, fluorescent light, is used heavily in industrial animal settings. Even for people, it's an adverse thing. So children with autism have a hard time with it. People in offices have a hard time with it. And while you may not see the actual flicker, your brain perceives it. And so I wanted to see if animals have a hard time with it, so much so that it gives them a higher incidence of adverse behavior incidents, and if that leads to higher rates of euthanasia in those animals or lower rates of adoption. So that is my thesis. All the data collection is done, the coding is done, the stats are done. I just have to write the thing, but it is such a monster. It really should have been a PhD thesis instead of an MA thesis, that I have just been really dragging my heels. So sorry, that was a long answer to your short question. Let's see. Yeah, I really hate fluorescent lights. That's actually why I came up with the idea, because I was sitting in a behavior class in school, and in the room, of course, it was all fluorescent lights, and I felt insane. I was like, I have to get out of here. And then it made me start thinking like, oh, I wonder if this is a problem for animals like I knew it would be for birds, especially raptors. But I didn't know if it would be for shelter animals or even, animals in veterinary settings or lab settings. And so I wanted to look at that. And it just became this monster project, setting up, like 20 cameras in a shelter and looking at the footage every day for 3 months and then coding all of the footage for behaviors. And it just became this like huge monster thing, which is great. It's just the writing of it. I wish I could just be like, someone else write it. Here are the results. Where did I go? When you created the button lady, was it for you, wife, sitter? It was for me, because I always refer to I always think that they're just like, oh, it's that lady. And then when I met my wife, they acted like she was just me, like I had just copied myself. So I was like, oh, haha, they just think you're the other lady. So when I started teaching Steve the buttons, I just called myself lady, because that's what I had always thought that he thinks of me. So, yeah. But I think that he uses it as a referral to all people. So whatever person he's talking to, he will push lady. So like if Allie's cousin Dane, who watches them sometimes, is over here, he'll hit lady to refer to him, right? So for Steve, and this is what I talk about a lot in talktothebeans.com, and in science work when you're talking about associative concept training, is that it's hard to have an exact one-to-one translation of a word or concept, which is why I don't use things like mad or love you. There's just no way to know exactly what your pet thinks that button represents. And so for him, I think that he thinks lady means other people, but who knows? Yeah. Are they able to find their bowls quick? Yes, they very quickly, animals are pretty food motivated. So they very quickly realized which ones open for them and which ones do not. A few of them, Samba here, he's the one who learned it first because he's highly food motivated. So he figured it out first, but he will still try to get food out of the other people's bowls. And he has occasionally learned to just shove his head into them. But they figured it out very quickly. It wasn't hard at all. I kind of thought I was going to have to do more behavioral methods to teach them, how to open the bowls and which ones are theirs. And they just figured it right out. So let's see. But yeah, here's all the bowls. Oh no, he's not in here eating. I don't know where he went. Steve is still the only cat pushing the buttons. Kevin does it every once in a while. Like he hangs out near the buttons and he'll push them now and then. He knows that they do something, but he hasn't fully connected what they do. But he knows, they all know what they mean, right? So like if Steve pushes snuggle, Kevin will come running because he wants snuggles. If Steve pushes play, Babby runs down the stairs because she wants to play. Like they all know what they mean, but I really think there's some kind of interesting social hierarchy thing going on where I don't know of very many houses where more than one animal pushes the button, and it's usually the head cat. And Steve is absolutely the head cat, and he is the one who seems to have the voice in the house. So, but that's something that somebody should study. My plate of studies is full, but I think that would be very interesting. Does Steve know he's the head cat? Oh, absolutely. He's constantly asserting himself. So, He will go and like push other people out of their bowls so that he can eat out of their bowls. He washes everybody's head so that his smell is the dominant smell in the house, and also so that he's being nice to people. He rules with kindness, but he still does like push everybody around so they know that he's in charge. He's often sitting at the highest spot in the house, which is another way to know when somebody's the head. Again, he eats first, which is another way to spot who is the head of the house. Yeah, all of those things. So he absolutely knows he's in charge. Are you going to pop him? Yep. Looks like he's going to pop him. All right. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with us. This was fun. I will have to do this more often. Right. Greetings from Steve, who is still sitting in he's sitting in an even weirder way. What are you doing? All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.